And I think we'll know more when we get the Minto specific results about some of the actions that we need to take, but I thought a couple of those points that were made on there resonated with some of the discussions we had here even tonight about downtowns and mixing residential and commercial.
Thank you.
I don't know if the county people know, but we've started to review our community improvement plan, which we've had here for 5 years, but and strengthen it and look at more incentives to encourage things. So I think that's probably one of our biggest issues in the next 5 years.
And do you want us to comment, Paul?
Yeah, just for those who didn't know, we did a BRE.
Yes, come on. Sorry.
Yes, for those of you who didn't know, we did a BRE in Minto in 2007. So this is great because we can benchmark these results to 2007 as well as compare the county and province, so we can really have a nice idea of how things have improved. And I know one of the things that I already know is we did in 2007, the percentage of businesses that said Minto was a good to excellent place to do business was 73%. And that was just when getting started. Now that has gone up to 87%. So our work is paying off and people are happy here in that sense.
And it's a lot of it credit to the economic development that you and Danny have led, and Rick as well, because he's our chair of economic development. Our leader. But we have a good thing going, and that's why I'm so excited about the county as well, and Carolyn, because we're moving it to the county level for some of those higher end things that you can see that we can get working on. And I do believe, can I announce the fact that you're going to the international? We've been invited to speak at the International Business Retention Conference in Memphis, and Deanna's going to do some speaking.
So how many people can go with you?
Yeah, so that's amazing, and that just shows that we're on the map and we're moving forward, and we're getting a lot of good feedback. So, thank you. Thanks again, girl. I hope the ride back's better, right? So you can head out now if you'd like. You won't hold you here much longer.
Snow plowing was an issue.
Okay. Big question. Any public questions?
No. Just saying hi.
You're the last on.
That's okay. That's all right.
Are you enjoying your time here, though?
I'm learning a lot. It's nice and warm.
Very warm.
I'm excited to put the heat on here. Oh, there are other concussions.
I think you want to cook us out here tonight.
Record-breaking temperatures tonight.
I can't start the air conditioner.
Number 12, correspondence received for information. You got that? Motion, we need a motion for the correspondence. Councilor Faulkner, Councilor Clerk, all in favor? Very okay. Yeah. Anything else with correspondence? Anybody have? Reports of committees. Sunny Valley Conservation. We have 2 source water protection committee minutes. The James Way board minute. Any questions on any of those? Motion to Councilor Elliott. Councilor Hamlin, all in favor? Staff reports, business economic manager. You want to talk about your policy on the logo usage and policy style guidelines?
So while I was away,
Did we mess up?
no, absolutely not. Andy did a wonderful job of wearing my branding police hat
Yes.
and came up with this communications policy and logo usage and style guidelines. So basically what it is going to give us the tool to make sure that everyone in the town of Minto is communicating in the proper ways in terms of accessibility and formatting and style. So all communications coming out of here will look the same font, no changing of logos, no backgrounds in emails. Everyone will have the same look and just look more professional and following our corporate guidelines. And this will give us some teeth to make sure that's done.
Any questions on this?
Oh, yes, I
Councilor Faulkner has a question.
I read that very carefully, and
So you do read.
thank you, I like you too. But I really like the fact that standardizing releases and whatnot. The part that bothers me a little bit is that I think it takes away from the personality of the governing authority or the staff at the present time over a particular issue. Let me give you an example. If a council had to deal with a certain issue, then the communication of that issue doesn't take the brand of the personality of the council. Is the only thing I'm trying to say. In respect to the actual format of the communication and the colors and all that, I totally agree. That's just my comment. All right.
Yeah, it's basically, we're not telling you what to say, I don't think, right? We're just telling you how it's gonna look when you're saying it.
Yeah, hopefully not take
there's
the
a little bit
individual.
of both in there, I think, that's.
Hopefully you'll still have the ability to state what you want to say, it's
Yeah.
how it's delivered.
I'm against robotic.
I had a hard time, I know what you're saying, I know when and Canada Trust has a very good brand, and when the branding police were on us at the beginning, you know, we couldn't do certain things, and I, as a manager in a small town, I used to get very frustrated, but at the end of the day, people understood the brand, I mean, and you have to have that, and sometimes individuality gets pushed a little aside, like we couldn't put certain pictures up or something, it had to be done right, but we won all kinds of awards for the branding, and people knew us. The branding of the green chair, well, now it's the green chair, that's TV, but not all those things, but it does work.
I guess my comment would be, isn't that what normally happens? We take recordings and write them down, and we don't get the conversation that goes on quite often. The first and the second is put forward, and the discussion doesn't get up on paper anyway, so there might be a full discussion on something, or you get this emotional second anyway, so it's not that you lose that personality, you do now. How it's recorded. That's what television and recording's all about.
Yeah, so everybody gets to see the interaction.
Absolutely, so.
Yeah.
I probably it's not gonna change a lot, that part, except from the more.
It's
Where's
just gonna
the-
be a consistent image,
Absolutely.
basically, that everyone is talking, not with one voice, but the look is all consistent. Shows that we're one brand, one team, it's consistency, like you can't have everyone doing something different, it just doesn't look very professional, so.
That's ice cream should. Max, so.
Thank you. Any other questions? It's a guide. Yeah. Motion to accept. Councilor Henley, Councilor Caldwell, all in favor? Now, I'm gonna move number 9 up, because our Phil's been sitting here patiently, and he has to take any more clothes off. It's very hot in here. And so we're gonna move number 9 up right now. We're gonna deal with number 9, which is the site approval, Tim Hortons County Road 123 Main Street, Minto. That's right there.
Members, if I may, I'll do the summary.
Yep.
The site plan, you have a copy of most of the submissions made on the proposed Tim Hortons at the south end of the Palmerston Industrial Park. Bill is here tonight to answer any questions you may have. This is for a 42-seat Tim Hortons restaurant and a 20-seat outdoor patio. It's at the corner of County Road 123 or Main Street and Minto Road. 35 parking spaces in the development. They've provided a full urban design for you to consider on the property. There's more than adequate storage for the drive-through areas, maneuvering for the parking and so forth. The entrances have been reviewed. There was a traffic study done, and the county has accepted the shared entrance between the 3 lots fronting on the county road. And the town agrees to the entrance off Minto Road as well. So in terms of driveway access, it's appropriate for the development. There is one small issue that we have to address, and that is there is a left-hand turn lane there, and that may need to be extended beyond the shared entrance. So we'll work with this developer and the developer of the gas bar on that requirement. There's no sidewalks in this area. There is a sidewalk around the building, and that's appropriate for the development. The zoning is correct. The building has been located according to the minimum distance separation, which is one of the constraints on this property. The landscape plan is excellent. There's honey locust trees and hostas and fescues and all sorts of things growing on the property that will make it look tractor from the street. One of the other constraints that's been dealt with very well is the depth, the height of the property. There's about a meter of fill that has to be brought in the entire site, and that obviously adds to the cost of development, and that's been integrated into the project as well. So the surface water flow on it, the location of the catch basins, it will all flow to the back of the site, and in that will be a shared a drainage area that will be riprap and developed to proper engineering standards, but it will be shared between this property and the property to the north. And there would be an easement put on that, and the developers agreed to that easement as well. The sewer and water access, the sanitary sewer access to the property is being built by the developer at the back of the lot within this proposed easement. And they've actually provided for it to be installed all the way to the middle lot, so they do have development plans for that lot. And that sanitary sewer, once it's built, will become ours to maintain, as will the water main. And it will be used to service the middle lot as well as the gas water property. So those services will be built by the developers in this case, and not by the town. We had this site plan reviewed at our development meetings. Staff were generally supportive of the plan and how it's been laid out. We had it reviewed by Triton Engineering as our consultants, and there were some technical issues that they brought forward that the two engineering firms are talking about. One of the issues that was subject to fairly numerous conversations between Phil and I since he was buying the property and with council when we were considering the offers and so forth was truck traffic. I know he's committed and I know council's committed to not having a truck issue like we have elsewhere in the municipality. So part of what they propose and what we would recommend to you is that there be an urban look to the front of these properties along Main Street and along Minto Road. That will mean there will be curving. That will specifically prohibit street parking by the trucks at that location. We had talked about whether that middle lot could carry some kind of truck parking on it. They do have development plans for that property, and so as an interim or alternate solution, we're looking at an urban design along the front that will prohibit the trucks from parking there. That would be signed, and we would be working with the OPP to make sure that's enforced, both here and at the other 2 months location. We'll be speaking about that once that road is rebuilt during this spring. So in terms of, that was a major issue of discussion between the 2 of us as far as this goes. So our recommendation is that we, council approve the site plans. They're listed there in the recommendation, and there's numerous plans and schematics and standards that are part of this project. There would be a $10,000 security that would come with this as well. So I believe the developer is interested in moving as quickly as possible. So we have negotiated the site plan agreement, and if Phil sees his way to sign it in the next week, it can come back to council for signature in 2 weeks, and you can start dealing with the CBO on getting permit plans and so forth. So generally, it's a good site plan. It's well developed. It's been well thought out. It's been subject to considerable review by staff and by consultants, and it's our recommendation that you consider approving.
Just about the truck traffic, you're talking just, they won't park on Main Street, so could they pull down Minto Street and park there, or pull up Minto Street into the driveway, into the roadway?
The proposal is, if I may, through you, Mayor, just to curb between the entrance to Main Street and the entrance to Minto Road. So that would be all barrier curbs there, so they park there. I suppose they could park further down on Minto Street, but yeah, and that may or may not be a problem if they're away from the intersection and away from the higher traffic areas. But generally, these sites don't cater to truck traffic.
So if they move on down, probably wouldn't be a problem. You're trying to prevent them from congesting at the intersection, for example.
Right.
And other things, not this stuff.
I'm just wondering about the shared entrance on part 5. It's about 3/4 of the way down on the front page. It talks about the developer has agreed to this subject to the town covering legal and survey costs. I'm just wondering if you could explain that a little further, please.
We had provided a part 5 on the plan, which is a strip in front that would be a shared entrance between the 3 properties here. That part 5 turned out to be not quite as deep as it should have been. So when Tim Hortons did their design, that entrance, if you look at it, it comes off the main street and almost a full parking space deep into the lot. And that part 5 wasn't quite deep enough, so we would need to survey an extra strip there, about 25 feet wide, roughly there, as well as the easement at the back, so that we can get the proper easement and the proper rights of way size on that property. So we would cover that and prepare the documents, and they would sign it. So
Any idea of the cost or something like that?
it'd be a couple $1,000.
Thank you, Mayor Rich. I'm around the truck driver a lot. And I see coffee cups, I see Tim Hortons coffee cups a lot. And it's not a question of, if there's gonna be truck stopping. I mean, I can see truck drivers going in possibly to the dentist's office. I can see them going back and turning around and coming up and parking on Minto Street, which Minto Street's likely a better place to park than off on the opposite side of the 123. I mean, I don't know, we can say, truck traffic, we're dealing with it, we're putting the curbs up, but I really think there's gonna be truck traffic. I don't think we can do anything about it. And so, and I know that's not your problem.
No.
I know that it's not the Tim Hortons problem here in town, and it's been an issue right from the first day that Tim Hortons put in. So, I don't know.
There'll also be the road on the other side,
Oh, yeah.
which basically, did we not think that they would be able to go in there in that cul-de-sac and turn? So that's another option that they might have, which is a little bit better. I know we're gonna maybe talk about it later about Harrison, we're gonna put those curves back in, we haven't got that done yet. I had a call from a ratepayer today and asked when we're getting that done. It's gonna be done in the spring, and we'll work on that, but it is the thing that we, I guess, have to deal with, and I'll want to go back if we do run into a problem with the OPP, or just say to them, like, you guys start ticketing people. But I think there's gonna be more room in this site to deal with it.
I don't think truck goes forward.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think compared to the Harrison side,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a busy NTO highway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably double the amount of traffic.
Yeah.
On that one, and quite frankly, the guys at Tim's don't want trucks on their site. You look at it, for one tractor trailer, you got one truck driver compared to a van full of people going in, way more coffee. So let's put it this way, it's not high on your list of priorities in terms of customer base.
I like the fact that there's a couple things on this, and when I was talking to Phil earlier, this is one of the first ones that have a patio.
Yeah, all of the new designs that are coming out are these urban designs. So you've probably seen, like, in the last year, I think they've renovated close to 2,000 stores. So in all the new stores that they're doing where they can accommodate it, they're opening patios out there. This is what they call the urban design store. So you got the facade, you got the stone inside, you've got the they're gonna have probably a fireplace. They'll have a big screen TV, the leather couches. This is the way they're going because they really need to keep up with the competition. It just seems to be the way in the world now in the fast food industry. So it's a great looking building. I'm really loving this.
Any other comments?
My only question was timing. Are we free to talk timing?
Yeah,
now, or-
absolutely. Yeah, I'd
Maybe if you
mention the
could
area.
come up, Phil, because
Sure.
people can
Put me on the
hear.
hot seat.
Well, they hear vaguely over there. We're limited technology.
Some of us are a lot older than others that can't hear, so.
Yeah.
I mentioned to the mayor that we hope to be in for building permit in about 45 days. Start construction probably sometime in the middle of the summer with an opening date of late 2014, later this year or early 2015. So, yeah.
And just one thing, actually, like the other thing I pointed out, it's a double drive-through too. And the other thing that I don't think this one will have any problems with is there's a lot of capacity for cars when they're lining up.
Yeah, so you're effectively doubling the stacking.
Yeah.
Capabilities, which helps them go through much faster, and it eliminates a lot of the overflow that you see in smaller sites that have a single drive-through. So they've really got it down to the science.
You know, all I was gonna say was, we love grand openings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you do before the election?
You're not, just because you're not running, don't get the rest of us in trouble. Well, I could go do it. Yeah. Thanks.
So yeah, I'll keep you posted on how things go. That's what we hope to. That's the timeline that we're looking at.
And I think I was talking to Phil earlier too, relatively 30 to some jobs would be.
30 to 40, yeah.
30 to 40 jobs
Yeah.
created in this site.
Yeah, and such a small footprint. It's amazing. Kind of operation they run. So it's great.
Yep.
Brian, maybe you can help me, Mike, how far does the sidewalk go towards on 23?
It just goes to the corner of King and Main,
Yeah, that's what we're.
right at the gas, the,
So
Dr. Seuss
the
gas station.
sidewalk up about a block away and then kind of thing, yeah, block and a half.
Yeah, it'd be a good block and a half.
So there's walking traffic, more drag kids walking up there.
It'd be a little dicey.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Great.
thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
For the motion, moved by Council Turton, second by Council Hamley, all in favor? Good. All right.
By the sounds of Bill, Belinda and the mayor, you've had good experience here in the town.
Oh, absolutely.
Gord,
Yeah.
Brian.
Really one of the best.
Number what?
Well, I'm not sure if Bill wants to see me sometimes, but no, Bill's been great to deal with. Everybody, Mark, I should have introduced myself to Mark. I've spoken to him a dozen times, but yeah, it's great to finally meet everyone. We're excited, very excited.
We
I'm
got
looking forward to crispy chicken.
Yeah.
We got both number on the head, we probably know, all we knew was a number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got to memorize your phone number, Bill.
There you go.
Committed to memory.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the list is our monthly, you're doing this one?
Yes, Mayor Bridge, the monthly building permits, sounds like they're subject to being better in April, but a little bit down from last year. We had 3.4 million in 2013, we had just 151,000 in this March. We're off to a racing start the first few months, but we have slowed down. 2 single-family homes so far this year, 16 permits totaling 1.33 million. So I know that the chief building official has already had some developments in, and that will be much better.
Thanks, guys.
I think he's close to $1 million. The weather has been hurting, there's been a lot of tire kicking, but nobody's really moving very fast for this. That's the way it is.
We just need a motion to accept those, unless there's any questions.
Motion accept, Councilor Palmer, Councilor Elliott, all in favor? Thank you. Next one is safe closure, temporary road closure.
We'll do that, Peg.
You're still here, okay?
I haven't,
Yeah, Peg. You could have just done it for you, Peg. I'm feeling your pain. Okay. We're gonna ban all further ski trips for you.
Okay, so the first special event permit report is for road closure, and it's the Touch a Truck event, which is happening on Saturday, June the 14th. And it's happening, Harrison Motors and Minto Fire are together, putting this event together. And it is happening Last year it happened on the Harrison Motors site, but as you are aware, they sold a piece of that property for the max convenience. And so now they are requesting to temporarily close Lawrence Street and Queen Street so that they can expand from Harrison Motors out onto the street. And so the event is going to run from 10 to 3, but we're requesting the temporary road closure from 9 to 4, so that way there's time to set up ahead of time.
Question?
I'm just wondering, out of courtesy, if we should notify Max that this is happening in case they have deliveries maybe coming. I don't know where their deliveries would be, but they might be at the back of the store, that street would be closed and maybe congested with traffic or with cars or whatever's going to be there. So I'd recommend just as a courtesy that we notify them that that day, if they need access to the back of their store, someone will be available from the street.
I think just to follow up on that, the last time I talked to police, they were actually organizing with Max, and Max is going to participate.
Okay.
So they should be, but that's a good point, but I think they're going to do something because they think it'd be a good community event for them as well. So I think they've got something going, but it's a point to make sure that they can get in.
So the recommendation is just to consider a bylaw in regular session to put temporary code forward.
So, all in favor?
And the second special event permit is for the annual Big Bike Heart and Stroke Foundation fundraiser. And so this year it's on Monday, May the 26th. And they are running the Big Bike event in Palmerston and Harrison. And both events the registration is happening at the community center. So in your package, you'll notice I included the routes for both of them, the Harrison and the Palmerston. So they begin at the community center and they end at the community center. And so it's just for information. They're not asking for any road closure, but it's just for information.
Well, you're the common one, right?
Yeah. They're hooting and hollering.
Great, motion to accept. Emily, Paul, all in favor?
You got it, bud. You got it.
Bill, you're up.
Mayor Bridge, just another election update. Just to let you know that planning continues. There's a little information there on voters lists. So the preliminary list of electors will be available July 31st. There is also a new impact site for all our residents and voters that they can look up their information on, www.voterlookup.ca. And we will have a link, if you don't already, from our website, but any qualified elector can look and make sure they're on the list, and if they're not, there's options that they give to getting put on the list. And once that preliminary list is posted, then you can also do changes to it in our office. Election structure, we have myself will be the returning officer. We have 2 deputy returning officers. That'll be Annalee McRob and Peg Scheidt, and they've both been appointed by myself, which I can do under the act. And then there will be 8 election officials yet to be appointed and some 60 ballot counters. Last election, you can see the remuneration there. I'm requesting that be slightly higher, and we'll be bringing back a bylaw for you to approve that or not approve it, just because I'd like to do the training a little different this year. I'd like to have a separate day of training, not a day, but a half day of training for people, so that just for my own peace of mind, so that I know they're ready on election day. So that's one of my little quirks. It was done differently before, and it worked just fine, but I will be asking for a little bit more time from some of those officials as well.
As long as it's not lousy training.
It won't be lousy, it'll be busy. The council chambers will be open election day, so from 8 a.m. until the results are finished and available. We are going to do the ballot collection at the community centers, and we're also going to do it in Crescent Care and Altera, so we'll set something up with those groups to do that. In terms of lame duck, there's some information there, and we're not in that situation yet, and that won't be any consideration until after the nomination period. So Really, the purpose of the report was just to let you know things we're carrying on here. And we're well prepared for the election and we're ready to move forward. And that bylaw will be coming with the remuneration. Any questions, comments?
Well, the ballot package collection for the week prior to the election, is that manned or is it just a box where they drop the ballots in? Or?
Well, if I may, we would propose to have people there.
And they'll be paid to be there?
Yes. That will be part of their remuneration, so.
Somebody make a motion to accept,
I would,
Councilor Elliott,
I'd like to.
Emily, all in favor?
What about the female vote?
You're gonna.
No, female vote then.
I think it's done.
Oh,
So this is just a report, so I'm not turning this over to you yet.
That's fine.
I'm not sure if I don't think so.
No, that's good.
Remind me when I get to you.
Okay.
Hey, Rich, I guess I could start.
Yeah.
These guys who know all the details.
Yep. Great.
We had quite a year this year with snow removal and everyone knows about that. And I just wanted the two of the three main people are here, but I mean, they had quite a winter. I wanted to thank them first of all for their hard work on that.
Good job. I think Mike has to plow the night yet.
The county road. He was in shop this morning at 3:30 when he got his window. I think it made him sick. He didn't get home. So it's amazing he's here. But I think it's a team effort too, and all the guys from the plows to these guys, but also the Min people, because I don't think in 28 years of doing this work I've heard so much input. Put it that way. And such was. Anyway, it was interesting, and so it's been a challenge, and part of the reason for bringing that forward was to make it clear how we do our snow removal, and to improve our communication with people. And so one of the things I like in here is the idea of the patroller coming back and doing kind of a social media output each night as to where the plows are and what's going to be happening that day. So anyone can look and see, and if they get shelving of the banks into their driveway, it won't be because we tell them, we'll tell them that we'll be doing it that day. So just to try and help alleviate some of the things that happen. I know how disappointing it is after you shoveled your driveway to go out and have to shovel it again, but we're only trying to protect our safety of our residents and our roadways.
so is this a new thing, plowing the roads, or you know, going all the plowing roads?
It seemed like it was from that time.
Sorry, your worship.
The other point that I wanted to make was our new insurer asked that we have a policy, and so this is part of complying with the things that they've asked for, and it has been sent to them for reviews. Okay, now you're on.
Okay, like Phil says, attached, you'll see the policy, which reflects these discussions that we did as a group. Identifying roads that need to be done during daylight hours due to safety issues. Your narrow secondary roads and intersections to clear the snow during daylight hours to prevent damage to equipment and property. Mapping has been added to the policy outlines priority 1 and priority 2 roads on sidewalks. There's daily weather and road reports, and the times the plows are dispatched by the town of Minto will be uploaded to all social media accounts. There are also concerns from one contractor on how the snowbank removal is done. Staff is constantly looking at ways to improve this while minimizing expense during winter operations. This is also addressed in the policy that we've done up. A total of 9 times the Public Works Department had the snowbanks removed from the downtown core and surrounding areas for the 2013-2014 winter season at a cost of approximately $123,520. So if you have a look at your policy that's attached, you have weather monitoring. Staff will monitor weather as required by minimum standards every day between October 1st and April 30th, no less than 3 times in a 24-hour period. for the winter months and for the remaining months, once a day. On the patrols, the town will commence winter patrol operations as weather requires, beginning on October 1st to April 30th. Winter patrol by Public Works, myself, road superintendent, or lead hand, or appointed qualified staff will generally commence at 3:30 a.m. or earlier if need be, completed on municipal roadways using a four-wheel drive town vehicle and plow. Like I said, these are only some of the things I'm just touching on. I would imagine you all read through the policy. Plowing operations, winter maintenance crews will consist of a full-time operators within the Public Works Department as well as seasonal full-time operators. Winter maintenance on municipal roadways shall be conducted on 10 routes as shown on attached maps that you have in front of you. They consist of town priority road 1, which are your paved higher traffic roads in urban areas, Main Street business districts, and town priority 2 roads, which are lower traffic roads, gravel roads, dead end streets as such. Also, your sidewalks, snow removal on sidewalks is designated urban areas and school roads as per maps attached. Snowbank maintenance, which Bill's touched on. It has in there, when snowbanks are over 1 meter high in the following areas, which is Clifford from Laura Street between to Nelson, Palmerston Main Street between to Henry, Harrison, Laura Street, Young to William, Arthur Street between the mill. You'll have those banks removed. Town staff shall annually contract for snowbank removal subject to the town purchasing bylaw by way of a bid that will include the supply of the lower 3 trucks, a skid steer or similar. The town shall supervise operations and will provide a snow storage area in accordance with this policy. Where snow removal is not practical or cost effective at the discretion of the Public Works Director or designate, town will initiate a snowbank shelving process. Snow storage. The town will store excess snow to avoid infiltration into streams and rivers, drinking water recharge area, and municipal wells, in areas where infiltration into the sanitary sewer systems may be located. Then it has in there your Lions Park, public parking lots. Town will still maintain those. During a severe snowfall event, the town will not be able to plow designated routes, but will focus on arterial roads in urban and rural areas as much as possible. And this is to help out your emergency responders, fire, police. In the event of the closing of a provincial highway and county roads in the municipality, the town shall post such closures on the website. In the event Highway 89 is closed, the town municipal office will be closed. While operators will carry their identification with them in their personal vehicles so as to obtain clearance to assemble at the operations center and the office here. If necessary, the patrol vehicle will assist where possible. So those are just some of the things. You have snow emergency in event of an extreme weather, winter storm that causes the closure of a significant portion of the road network. I or my designate will advise the mayor or his designate who shall declare a snow emergency. This will initiate the activation of a EOC. In this event, all control of snow clearing activities will be coordinated to the EOC. Okay. Any questions?
You mentioned early on in the report, identifying roads need to be done during daylight hours due to safety issues. What are the safety issues? Are narrow roads or?
Yes, narrow roads in the turnaround locations. We have had multiple issues over the years where operators have been going to turn around in some of these locations and they go off the road just for visibility reasons. So they're left until daylight hours when they're able to see and do their job safely.
And that goes then to a little farther down, it mentions damage to equipment and property. That's all part of the same issue.
I heard earlier, that this is as a result of a request from an insurance company, that a policy be developed. Where I become concerned is if any contravention to this policy, then does that alleviate the insurance company from giving us coverage? Has this, have we had this passed through a legal?
Well, you wanna answer that? 'Cause I think I.
This is a policy, it's not a bylaw.
All right, no.
It just gives the guidelines for the staff and council and the public on how we do, like, there's been several complaints over this winter especially. On how we remove the snow, how we plow the snow, why we do this, why aren't we plowing in front of my place at 7 like it used to be done? And so we're trying to address all of these, so we thought if we put in, since the insurance company requested it, we thought we'd put a policy together stating those. Mainly, it's just a guideline.
I applaud the guy. It's really, it just makes some decisions a lot easier.
I think before.
It has been sent to our insurance company, so, they'll have seen these policies with all their clients. If they have any input on it, then in terms of whether it exposes us to more liability or not, I think by stating it and complying with it, then it's our due diligence. And there's also reference to the minimum maintenance standards. We're exceeding what the province requires us to exceed on almost all occasions.
I think, yeah, I'll let you explain a little bit about the minimum maintenance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that, we already do that minimum maintenance standard, which is provincially mandated, which the insurance companies hang their hat on a little bit, so this is over and above it. So, yeah.
Just a couple of questions on the parking lots. First of all, I want to applaud you guys, you did a great job this year. Really difficult, and you know what? My phone rings a lot. There wasn't a lot of complaints, a couple, and I got a lot more compliments than I got complaints, and that's tough going. You really use compliments, so applaud to your guys for the effort you put forth. Obviously, there's always someone that brings complaints. A couple of questions that I do have is when we get into a winter like this, you gotta keep the roads open. It's a first priority, get the roads open and keep people traveling. I know you took on parking lots thinking that you could handle all that. Obviously, the parking lots, I mean, the plow road filled in, the plow road filled in, plow road filled. Parking lots aren't getting done. Because, and then you try to contract somebody out, but these people want to take on a job. Would it be better to contract the parking lots again, or do you think we're going to get it?
No, I think, this year, being the year it has been, you don't get that every year. I think when on a normal winter, we have no issues. I think, considering the winter that we did have, I think the guys did a great job.
Oh, and I'm not denying that.
No, I just saying.
You have priorities, and I just whether that would help you and your priorities. But I guess if the roads are closed and the parking lots aren't being used in a lot anyway, or if they're being.
Yeah, usually no. Yeah.
Not in the parking lots.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think patrolling is a big thing. I mean, it's gonna be right there on our website. First thing in the morning when you wake up, going up to the radio, go to the website. And I mean, this guideline, we sat here and listened to, I really think this has turned kind of an ugly situation, maybe not ugly, into a good thing. I mean, we listened, we did something about it. I shouldn't say we, you guys, did something about a situation where next year you're gonna make snow plowing a whole lot easier.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a little bit of equipment like the GPS system that makes a big difference for mainly insurance purposes. Tells you when the plow's down. Because you end up in court and they'll say, well, yeah, you did that road, was the plow down or up? You know, and to prove that, things have gone that far where you have to do your due diligence, as you say, and prove what you're doing up there is what you're supposed to do.
I mean,
And we are going above and beyond what the requirements are on all of them.
you showed this Dave Land, I mean, back when he started.
He reviewed the whole policy.
Back when he
They
started.
approved the policy, there you go.
A number of years
He didn't approve it, but he reviewed it. Okay.
If he hasn't, he will.
Just one thing I wanna add to, sorry, David, you,
I just wanted to say that, I mean, the amount of work, how many hours are in something like this? I mean, this is, I mean, the amount of the maps, making sure that you're on the right street. I mean, in all three towns and the township. I mean, no,
I think we met for an hour, the group of us, and I think probably a couple hours.
Yeah, and this has been, like, we've been looking at it as long as, minimum maintenance standards, they've been updated. They did work on that for the last 3 years, and then it's finally finalized now. And during that whole procedure, we've constantly been looking at different things that we can do.
yeah, and I really do think, this being on the website, people can look and see exactly what our standards are, what our procedures are. And I think this is a really good thing.
and I was gonna ask, this is going to be on the website, the maps and everything. Because they'll give us the opportunity to say, you know, and educate people, and that's part of the problem, is education of it. And then the other thing that I give you a lot of credit, we looked at it, we had 9 times, and I think that's probably a record, 9 times removing snow from our streets. Because normally it's a couple, you know, so we had 9 times, it didn't melt this year, so we had 9 times. And I think going the route that you're going, and maybe it'll help Ron with your situation with the parking lots, by having that contracted out, a little bit of this year, we had so many times, I know it was a struggle, Mike, from time to time, because we couldn't get equipment, we didn't have it, but having it out there on tender, we'll know exactly what the costs are, we'll know that somebody's available because we've got them contracted. That'll help you a lot too, that'll keep a lot of pressure off, so I give you a lot of kudos for what you put together here. And I think that's what it is, I mean, most people understand, and I think sometimes there's frustration, and there was a lot of frustration there this year, but that's because it's a rotten year. I was frustrated this morning when I saw everything, so. But the point is, I think we have to communicate with our ratepayers to tell them what we've been doing. Certainly, we spent a lot of their money this year, and I think we can streamline it, do it as best we can. And I think they know that they're getting hopefully what they pay for. And I think we've done a good job. Okay.
Quite frankly, I think it's a thankless job, really.
Yes.
Because if you plow the snow, they're complaining about plowing it and how you did it. If you don't plow it, then they're complaining because the streets are clogged with snow. So it's a no-win situation. And again, it's got to be unpleasant a lot of the time. But I think you handled it well this year. And I think if you could get through this year, you'd probably get through any year. Look at the months here.
Thank you. Okay, so we need a motion to accept the report. Did you want to say something?
I just wondered, did you want to have a public meeting on policy?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's going to be on the website, and the reporters are here. They're
It'll
going
be
to
on
explain it.
Twitter.
I don't think we need a public meeting.
Maybe.
No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, you guys want a public meeting? I don't know.
All in favor?
All right. Thanks for bringing that up. When you go to the holidays soon, go to the holidays soon, we gotta go. Oh, here, next is yours, Bill. You get there.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The Harrison Lagoon farm lease went out for rebid. We had 2 bids. So one from Scott Dirksen for $100 an acre, and one from Matthew McKee at $90 per acre. Recommending that you consider the Scott Dirksen. There's a draft terms of use that are attached. He would, if you're in agreement, he would have it till December 31st, 2016.
Mayor Bridge, I just wonder, it says the second bid was just slightly lower. Could you expand on that?
Oh, $10.
I guess the other thing is, if something comes up after 1 year, we can break this lease. I guess that's a risk he's willing to take, that he's only gonna have one crop to pay or 1 year to pay potentially or something.
It's a 6 month.
I thought I wrote that in there. Yeah, 6 months written.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be in September, there's no hay next year, because he given 6 months notice. So he's obviously willing to take that.
That's why it came down the price a bit too.
Mayor Virginie hasn't signed it yet, so he'll have to sign it, I have let him know, and I haven't heard back from him yet, but, if council's in agreement, we'll finalize that and I'll have it signed.
Any motion? Yeah. Curtis, Falker, all in favor? So let's see,
This is my last one, Mayor
your
Virginie.
last one.
This is the vacant lot on highway, it's basically the boundary between Highway 23 and Highway 89, and it's the unopened road bounds between concession D and concession 8. Councilor Faulkner was asking about that, and he knew exactly where that was, that's my bunch of it, so you can see that it's on the bend as you exit Harrison on to the south. The vacant lot is at the corner of the highway and the unopened road bounds, you can see where that's located. It is actually eligible for construction of a home, even though the agricultural zoning is in place and it doesn't have sewer or water. But because it's an existing lot, there are provisions in the zoning that would allow something to be built that would need a permit from the province. Because it's an MTO, they need a development permit for that. Part of that will be access, and I don't believe the province will give them access to the highway there, so the only alternative is to use our road allowance.
We already have access to that.
But not with a home on it, they won't allow that, more than likely.
So, but the home was torn down.
It was a dollar.
The Dow,
Yeah, it's the dollars.
so would that not be grandfathered?
No.
Really? Wow.
The MTO,
Maybe it was.
the MTO wields a pretty strong control over their entrances, so, and our staff would recommend that the road allowance entrance that's being used by the two farms be shared anyway, just for safety reasons. The agreement that's attached there is to put some terms on the use of that. It makes sure that they're contributing to the maintenance of the road allowance and that they know and everyone else knows that it's not a municipal road. So long as they're willing to sign that agreement, we're recommending that we allow their access off that unopened part of the road.
Any questions? Motion?
Sure.
Councilor Falker? Councilor Caldwell, all in favor?
Just if I could make a comment again, I had a bit of trouble figuring out where this was, and seeing I asked at the last meeting if we could get a larger map of the area so that it might be easier to determine where it is. If it's not too much work, but I know the area fairly well, and I actually had to drive both ways on 89 to determine where this exactly was.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure that out too.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice guy.
Go with that. Okay, moving it over to Councilor Caldwell. It's such a big job tonight.
Yes, we have a very easy job tonight. On the finance committee, there is one item, and it is the summary of accounts, which is a lot nicer than it was last time.
I think we must be ready to explore out, because some of these are small. We're stressing to find some highlights. But the biggest thing is we had about another 24,000 of finishing expenses for the Harrison Fire Hall. And we had about a $52,000 hydro bill. And other than that, it's very routine nice.
And the hydro bill was 1 month hydro bill?
That's 1 month, yeah, it's here, so, and the bulk of it at this particular time is in negotiation. This is serious. Yeah, it's something I'm saying.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the accounts? Then, the recommendation is that the accounts that are presented by Treasurer Duff would be approved for the April 4th meeting. Could I have someone make that motion, please? Councilor Faulkner, seconded by Councilor Churton, all in favor?
We can move it over.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Mayor Britt? I'll ask these two fine gentlemen to come. One of us is so bright.
You're talking about the close though.
We've got four
We're just
items,
trying to keep it style.
I like it. Let's get it.
4 items on the Public Works agenda tonight. I think they're, four, the routine ones. The first item is quotation for street sweeping, Palmerston, Harrison, and Clifford. And I'll ask our Public Works Director or our road superintendent, sorry, road foreman to go over it, please.
Okay, so April 8th, 1 PM, we sent out request for quotations and opened up the tenders for sweeping, street sweeping for Palmerston, Harrison, and Clifford. And 3 submissions were received as follows. Mobile striping sweeping, $90 per hour. 12 power sweeping, $83.50 per hour. And clean sweep power sweeping for $110 per hour. We have reviewed all the RFQ submissions that came in, and they have submitted a quote at $6.50 per hour cheaper than the second lowest submission, which is 12 power sweeping. And also have a starting date of April 22nd, which is a month earlier than mobile sweeping could be.
Are you gonna have a plow?
Yeah.
Just in case you have to plow instead of sweeping.
That's a possibility.
Sorry.
Any questions?
Any questions on the street sweeping?
Yeah, through you, Chairman Turton. Do they charge traveling time when they bring these sweepers, or do they drive them, or do they float them in, or how do they get here? Like, I'm assuming Guelph power comes from Guelph.
Yeah, they don't charge for, any full time.
So it's strictly the time they're sweeping those streets that we're paying.
Yes.
Good,
Average?
Just what was the cost last year, can you remember?
$90
Was it 90?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, we spent roughly, $11,000 in sweeping. last
Yeah, that's
year.
what I wanted
Yeah.
to know. And who was it? Was it one of those other ones?
Yeah, so it wasn't mobile, yeah.
Thank you, through you, Chair Curtin. Are they gonna be able to do the job? Are they big enough that, like, I know there's an indication here, it might take twice as long as the other companies?
Yeah. The process will take a bit longer. They're willing to provide one full-time sweeper with possibility of a second. And with the other company, they do have 2 on site with a possibility of a third. But with mobile, they won't be able to come in for a month anyway, so this company would have the job completed before.
I see,
They
yeah,
can even
that's
come
right,
in.
that's right.
Same size as sweeper, right?
Yeah.
Just that they only have one instead of 2.
Councilor.
Do we have any problems with debris or people sweeping their lawns? Actual leaves or something that have to occur? They come in on sweeping, they have a problem, stopping around that and.
No, they'll sweep that up.
Any other questions? What about, so basically, we got the one guy, if I heard you correctly, like, one operator is it days or nights or when? I mean, that's some of the issues from last year and the year before and the year before that, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, we do the majority of the sweeping during the daytime hours. The reason for through the night is to get the downtown cores done when nobody's around. That should be the only time that they're actually sweeping through the night.
Any other questions? The recommendation then is council receives this public works report from Public Works Director and Road Foreman, page 15, 2014, regarding RFQ 2014-01, street sweeping, Palmerston, Harrison, Clifford,
And approves the awarding of the RFQ to Guelph Power Sweeping at price being $2.50 per hour, excluding HST. And moved and seconded. Deputy Mayor Fisk, Mayor Rich. All in favor of the motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you. Number 2 then on the agenda is for shoulders and ditches, cutting, grass cutting. So go ahead.
Okay, request for quotations were sent out to close April 8th at 1:30 for roadside cutting of shoulders and ditches within the town of Minto. 3 submissions were received as follows. S. Driscoll and Sons, Driscoll Farms, came in at $8.30 per kilometer. Forestal Design Landscapes came in at $38.05 per kilometer. And S&E Lawn Care and Snow Removal came in at $7.75 per kilometer. Staff have reviewed the submissions, and S. Driscoll and Son Driscoll Farms have provided the service to the municipality for the last number of years, but S&E's Lawn Care and Snow Removal Limited is a first-time bid for this RFQ. They've had several years of experience in the list of credentials with municipalities at 55 cents per kilometer cheaper. Any questions?
I Googled S&E tonight, and they're from Durham.
Yep.
Questions?
I believe, I don't know what to say,
Go ahead.
I believe they're doing West Gray this year, and they had Southgate other years, but they can get it this year. So, yeah, they're right around the area.
Yeah, I got it, the obvious.
Go ahead, Councilor.
For the 38?
Why is there $30
I
difference
think
for,
the 3 shouldn't be there.
No, that's true.
Any other questions?
I think they're playing.
You really didn't answer my question. Chair Turk.
We don't know why they were so high.
I obviously they didn't want the country.
Obviously,
Or
and sometimes they do it thinking that nobody else is gonna bid on it.
Okay, thanks.
And think we're gonna give it to them.
Other questions? For the recommendation, council received the public works report from Public Works Director and Road Foreman, dated April 15, 2014, regarding RFQ 2014-02, roadside cutting and shoulders and ditches, and approves the awarding of the RFQ to S&E Lawn Care and Snow Removal Limited at the price of $7.75 per kilometer, excluding HST. Mover and seconder, please. Councilor Henley, Councilor Elliott, all in favor of that motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you very much. Did you guys want to be noticed?
Oh, we're voting.
I voted.
Okay, thank you.
I think they're talking about something else.
Were they?
Get off.
Should we get
You're
to
the boss.
you guys, do you mind?
Give him a gavel.
Third item is the tender for the supply and apply calcium chloride. Go ahead, Jens.
Okay, tenders were also sent out to close April 10th at 1 p.m. for the supply and apply of calcium chloride on roadways within the town of Minto. Contractors had 2 options for submitting this tender price using the unit. Option 1 was liquid calcium chloride, it's 35% solution, or option 2 was effective chloride composite alternative equal to 35% calcium chloride. 3 tenders were received. Miller Paving Limited with the option 2 at $37,875.11. And is equivalent to percentage only came 30%. Pollard Highway Products came in at $54,218.81. And his equivalent percentage came at 20%. And Davey took option 1, which was 35% solution, and he came in at $31,957.
Questions? I was wondering, could you explain the equivalent to percentage, what that means, or how that's figured?
The 35, like the equivalent to percent is how much product it takes to get up to 35%. So the like Miller Paving, they're a little bit more because they have to apply more solution to get up to the 35%. And Polar Highway products, they actually have to apply double the product to come to that solution. It all depends on their makeup of the product which they use.
So 35% is the standard, or that's?
Yes, yes.
And so,
Sometimes you'll use like a brine solution, for case here, like Haley came in using just calcium chloride, which was, uses that, mixture. I know there's potassium. What else is on this? I'd have to look up the different chemicals, but what they do is they combine different to try to get up to that percentage. A lot of times they don't make it, and it doesn't adhere the gravel together because it's just the way they mix it, and it's not that great.
So in Miller paving, one application would do just 30% compared to what one application of Dailies would do 35%?
That's correct. Yeah. Like you could just do strictly brine, but it doesn't have the same impact on the density of your gravel.
So is it the calcium that's important or the chloride?
Very much.
It's the calcium.
Calcium.
Yeah. Just wondered, what was it last year? What was the actual amount that we did? Is it in here? I didn't,
No, last year's total was 25,000.
so it's up a bit.
Yeah.
Is one more environmentally friendly than the other? The solution, the difference in the two solutions?
I really don't know.
Okay.
Other questions? Recommendation of the council receives this public works report from the Public Works Director and Road Foreman dated April 14, 2014 regarding tender 2014-03 to supply and apply calcium chloride and approves the hiring of Daly Professional Dust and Ice Management Solutions of a cost of $31,950.07, including HST. I have a mover and a second, please. Thank you. Councilor Paul, Councilor Elliott, all in favor of that motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you very much. Fourth item. Maybe the most expensive one to the last. Fourth item is tender for road haul and spread granular gravel on some of our roads, so. Go ahead.
Okay, tenders for the following were sent out to close April 10th, also at 1:30 p.m. for the supply load and haul and spread granular weight within the town of Minto, with an estimate quantity of 10,000 tons. 3 tenders were received. Also on this, the Murray Group, and this is price per unit is $7.65 for a total, including HST, of $86,445. Dunnigan's Haulage came in at $7.65 for a total of $86,445. That you don't hardly see at all. Two prices are the same. And then E. Dennison contract came in at $7.40 for a total, including HST, of $83,260. Any questions on that?
Hearing none, no questions, move on to second. Mayor Bridge, all in favor of that motion? Against? Carried, thank you very much. I'll pass the chair, thank you guys.
Very quick, I just have a question for Robert. If you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
Picking up limbs and trees and stuff after, is that happening?
On budget, we won't be involved this year.
Okay then.
As soon as the snow disappears, again.
Just everybody to get
Yeah,
their names.
between the potholes and picking up, we're sort of getting a little bit of a later start because of the weather.
I haven't got any complaints, I just sort of wanted to get communication out there, how it would just be randomly done it, when it's time to go.
As quick as possible, we're moving into the cemeteries now, having everything up to, and
Sure.
actually we got them closed down so we get safe.
Maybe that's something you put on Facebook, social media too, that we're moving towards that. Something that we could, something like that.
If I may, too.
Yes, go ahead.
We would like the help of the general public if they could. The county has left
I was just gonna mention that.
sites left open until the end of May.
End of May, they're giving you free dumpage or free tipping for brush. So if the public can take it there,
Yes.
They'll take us. Okay, not gonna get charged. I think that maybe is one of the concerns. People think they might get charged, Ron, but they're not. The transfer station said, yes, we'll take them until May.
Okay.
Because of the snow coming and nobody get.
I think some people were thinking that the county would come and pick them up on the roadside.
No, the county won't pick them up, but but you can take them there.
That'd be important to communicate.
One other question, Brian, last Saturday, Sunday, April 5th and 6th, with all the rain in Palmerston, do you have information in reference to spikes going to?
Yeah, after speaking with you, I was talking to Jim Kerr, and there was an increase in flow. But there were no spikes or anything, not even anything close to, rust and bypass. So it was good palms and Harrison. Not so
Different
much.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Great, that's good, that's really good news on Palmerston. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Now you can turn it over.
Yes, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay. Other businesses disclosed items, and I think we had, Bill, you had something?
Bear Bridge Council enthusiastically received a delegation from the YFC at Savage, but we didn't do a motion, so we count the motion to approve the funding. That would just be for our records.
Moved by Council Paul, second by Council Burton, all in favor? Okay, and I had, Terry, did you have something?
I'd just like to say, actually before Brian and Mike leave, just how proud I was of the way you handled the situation this past weekend with the pending emergency, fire chief as well. He was calm, cool and collected, I felt, and chaired the meeting that we were at. And I'm also very proud of the Maitland Valley Conservation people because they did a tremendous job. They basically lived here for about 4 nights, I think. And like I said, I'm proud of the work that you people did, and I'm proud to be part of the Maitland Valley Conservation and the work that they did for us in preparing us and keeping us updated. I think it was a job well done. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'll pass that as well, as one of my comments going to be, and being around the weekend and seeing how everybody worked together and did a good job. And I think through all the departments, social media, the police, the fire department, everybody was really into it. And I believe you had a debriefing today I couldn't be at, but I think the Maitland Valley also said, Terry, that we're a model. They'd love to have other communities work with them the way that we worked with them during that time frame. So I think being prepared and being ready makes a difference. And thank goodness we didn't have the major problem we might have had, but I think we were all prepared. So. And how did the council felt that they were getting communication and that worked out well as well? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Who is it? Yes.
Yeah, just the message for the tree committee must be getting out there because I do have a commercial farmer that's on site willing to sit on the committee. And not only that, he's willing to be an example and plant trees in the proper manner. So that's great. And I have a second commercial farmer that also might be nice. So we're looking for a response from her.
Great. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Moved by Councilor Henley, second by Councilor Elliott, for the committee of the whole convenes of the town of Minto Council. All in favor? Great. Any notices of motion? Very good. Moved by Councilor Faulkner, second by Councilor Henley, the council of town to ratify the motion made in committee of the whole. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Turner, second by Deputy Mayor Fisk, the bylaw number 2014-22 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and the clerk to temporarily close the road for a touch of truck event in Harrison on Saturday, June 14, 2014, be introduced and read for a second, third time and passed with the council. And seal the corporation. In favor? Moved by Councilor Henry, second by Councilor Elliott, bylaw number 2014-23 being the bylaw to erect stop signs at Mary Street, Henry Street, Palmerston be introduced and read first, second, third time and passed with the council. Seal the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Deputy Mayor Fisk, second by Council Church, bylaw number 2014-24 being the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the April 15th, 2014 committee council meeting be reduced to read first, second, third time, and passed on the council seal with seal of corporation in favor. Moved by Council Paul, second by Council Henry, that council of the town of Minto adjourn to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Thanks. Good meeting. Everybody.